So this is Trio. It is a little card game where everyone has a hand of cards, and you take your hand of cards and you put it in your hand in ascending order. So let's just pretend this was my hand of cards. I have a 2, 4, I have 2 2s, a 4, an 8, 2 11s, and a 12. And so I have to keep them in my hand in that order, and you'll understand why in a minute. Then Devin would also have a hand of cards, and there will be some cards in the middle that are face down. And each of these numbers from 1 to 12 has only 3 copies of itself in the game. And your goal on your turn is if you can find all 3 of a specific number, you get to set it that grouping of them in front of you, and if you get 3 of those trios, you win. Or if you get 2 linked trios, basically if the sum or subtraction of the 2 numbers equals 7, then they'll be linked. So a 12, if you get the set of 12s and the set of 5s, that would be a winning combo. Or if you get the 3 7s, then you immediately win. 7s are gold. They're also the middle number, so they're the hardest to get to. Because on your turn, you're going to, hey, you flipped one over. Look at that.
I mean, look at me go.
Yeah, such great and perfect timing. You're going to ask, usually you're going to ask other people so that you don't reveal too much from your hand. Might say, Devin, what's your lowest card? And you can only ask someone about their lowest or their highest card. So if Devin had a 2, for example, he'd reveal that. Now everybody knows that Devin's lowest card is a 2. I know that I have one as well in my hand, but I'm going to keep that secret for a minute, and maybe I flip one of these cards on the table. It didn't happen to be a 2, so my turn would be immediately over, but now I know there's a 1 there. So it's a bit of a memory game, which I don't usually like in games because I don't have a great memory. But this one's simple enough where for each person, you really only need to remember 2 things. Their low card and their high card, and then of the 6, 7, or 8 cards that are in the middle, you need to remember what they are. And then you're just trying to find those 3 and trying not to reveal too much about your own hand. You also cannot do anything with the cards in your hand that are in the center. So even though I have a 4, an 8, and 2 11s, I can't reveal those or play them down in a trio set because they're kind of locked between my 2 and my 12. So very simple game. First person to get 3 trios wins. We played this 8 rounds in one night up at the cabin, just barely. We were just having a ton of fun. My one brother-in-law was just super good at it. Some people, it just clicks in their brain a lot better than others, I think. And for him, it was just like he could perfectly remember what cards everyone had, and because of that logic, he knew like, okay, so David must have like a 7 in the middle and you've got a 6. And it was kind of bonkers to watch. So we were all like trying to I don't know, muster as much of our own skill in the game as we could to beat him, which was tricky. But yeah, we played it for probably 2 hours straight, 8 straight times, and I think I have like 25 plays of Trio. I think it's excellent. I usually go through quite a few different like segments about duration and aesthetics and variability for a game, but for this one we're not going to go through too much. I think the cards are really cool. I would maybe sleeve them if it were me, just because they're a black border on the back, and so they can get like marked with like little white dings, and you don't want to be able to tell what cards are which, obviously. But it's really just a pretty simple deck of cards, and in the 25 times I've played it, and it has felt very different from one play to the
I would have said that.
to the next. Just based on the group of people you're playing it with. Like I mentioned, my brother-in-law that we played it with last weekend was super good at it, and those plays had a very different vibe than the other plays of this game that we've done. So Trio is man, I think it's excellent. I think it's a card game I'll have for a long time. Trying to decide if I want to buy some even like nicer sleeves for this game, because the set of sleeves I had on the cards, one of them ripped because we've played it so much, and I think a few people weren't being super careful, which is fine. They were fairly cheap sleeves. But anyways, Trio for me is excellent. I think this is a gold trophy game for David. Just excellent. I think the downside is someone that's not good at like memory games will struggle a little bit. But I think even the people that we could tell weren't quite as good at like all the memorization and memory, we're still having a good time, and we're able to like have some good rounds. Yeah, I think it's a good one. It's a good entry point if you want to take like a step up from Uno or something like that into a game that is much better, in my opinion, but not scary. Like, you could introduce this to your mom or your grandma, and I think they would understand it in just like 60 seconds. So Trio is excellent. Can't recommend it enough if you like a fun card game with 10-minute rounds that people are going to be like laughing, and like the surprise of where the last 7 is or where the last 4 was that you needed to win. Like, it's always a fun like reveal at the end of the game. So Trio is excellent. Gold trophy game here from Gaming Top Down.